It is the month of February, and that means it's time to celebrate love and Black history. Here's some recommendations of historical Black texts that I absolutely love and think everyone should read, starting with The Souls of Black Folk, published in 1903. Du Bois was well established as an intellectual and an author when this collection was published, but it's really the first time that the existential question of what it means to be Black in America is posed and opened up for public discourse. This is an anthology from 1925, drama, poetry, fiction, nonfiction, the young men and women living and working in New York just after World War I in what will become known as the Harlem Renaissance. This is the work that in large part establishes a separate and distinctive genre of African American literature. And in addition to all the great work that it contains, the bibliography is so important. These are works written and produced by Black authors and artists prior to 1900. I also recommend the 1923 book of poetry, Cain, by Jean Toomer. It was out of print for a long time and often overlooked because it made white people uncomfortable. That's the truth. But it's honestly one of the most visceral, beautiful, imaginative, experimental books of poetry you are likely to find from the 1920s. I also recommend Zora Neale Hurston. She's best known, I think, as a novelist now for Their Eyes Were Watching God and other works, but she wrote a lot of nonfiction. And this collection is essentially first-hand, real-time reporting of what it was like to be a Black American in the Jim Crow era of the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. I also highly recommend Nella Larsen, another Harlem Renaissance author. She's best known for two novels, Quicksand and Passing. Passing became a Netflix movie 4 or 5 years ago. Both of these novels are centered around a biracial protagonist and what that identity means. Larsen herself was biracial, or as she called it, neither Black nor white, but something else altogether. This is a new book on the work of Sadie Alexander. She was the first woman to earn a PhD in economics in America. And then I'm so sure it'll surprise no one to find out no one would hire her because she was Black and a woman. She went back to school, became a lawyer, devoted her life to social justice issues, particularly around economics. I cannot recommend this book enough. I also love Ann Petrie. She was a contemporary Black novelist in the 1940s, best known for her work, The Street, but she has 4 or 5 novels, also a collection of short story. I love them all. Highly, highly recommend. Finally, I want to recommend this book, Juneteenth by Ralph Ellison. He began it in the 1950s, supposedly the day after he published The Invisible Man, and he worked on it for 40 years. It is a love story to Black America. He aimed to make it a history of Black America, and it's centered around a Juneteenth or Emancipation Day holiday. It also is one I can't recommend enough. I know I went through these really quickly. I hope you can find them at your local library or bookstore. They're in our online shop. Thanks for watching, and happy Black History Month.